Okay, darling, where are we going to today?
Today I have many plans to go.
Many plans to go where? What'd you forget this time? Anyway, so I have key on my keyring. I can't start the car if I go upstairs. Oh, back in a minute. Okay, so we right now? You have everything now? You sure?
Yes.
You sure? Yeah, so today, from what I understand, like this is my best guess of understanding the situation. She's got to go and get a certificate, like it's a insurance for the home loan thing. So the banks want to guarantee the fact that she's healthy and everything else. I don't remember ever doing that when I was in Australia. So when we got my home loan, that was 96 or whatever it was. I don't remember having to do sort of medical exams and things like that. But I think, does everybody have to do an exam, medical exam, or just transgender? Everybody?
Everybody.
Everybody, yeah. It's a bit strange. Anyway, so that's what we're doing today. So it's running to the bank. You're got to go to the bank first?
Yeah. No, go in Muban first.
Got to go to the...
Because him have some place, something.
Okay, so we got to go and look at the house first.
Hospital.
Then go to bank and then go into contact to...
Now bank not go now because bank him send email in the Muban.
Okay, yeah.
Say something and show in the hospital.
Yeah. Anyway, so while it's running around, I thought I'm going to talk about retirement in general, and there's some of the things that we probably never really talk about, like the whys and wherefores of why you would might consider retiring early. Again, the whole 67 years and whatever 70 years or whatever the age is these days. I'm not even following it, but do you really want to retire when you can't do anything, or do you want to retire early? So let's talk about it. Okay, she'll go and do the little paperwork thing. I'll have a quick look around the house. Nothing much has changed in the last couple of weeks. Well, it doesn't seem to, at least anyway. Okay, looks like they're putting some extra paint on the walls. That's obviously good. Somebody carp. I still don't know what these cables are supposed to do here. It's a bit strange one. Oh, okay, so we've got some bathroom fittings. Finally, good. Yeah, they always break those sort of things. In the shower. This is very typical shower, bath, toilet, and everything else in the one. We've painted the stairs there. I was wondering if there's actually wet paint. So it's actually not actually wood. It's a wood grain. Paints the system. Oh yeah, there you go. Me with the camera. Yeah, this one here, we'll probably put a screen across there on that one to keep the water off the bathroom fittings. Looks like they're finally doing a little bit of patch up there. Sorry, Carl? Good to see everybody working away. Yes, that's all there. That's all in place. Good. Fuel flush. Very good. I can imagine they won't be changing anything here until the actual house is ready. I would expect the grass goes on last. It's good to see the paint's going on. And yes, looks like things are moving along. But that gets back to the point of what I'm sort of going to talk about today, which is retirement. What does retirement mean for you? I think it's going to be a different situation for everybody. For me, I just want to not have to deal with the mundane aspects of corporate life and things like that. I've got a guy banging away there, so I'll have to just stop that and continue on when he's finished. Yeah, so a little bit of an update there. So this is going to be obviously gates there, and we'll have a gate guy on. Things are starting to move along. I don't know what they're doing with that numbering system. That looks absolutely awful. Different people do different things, I guess. So this will be obviously where we live. The whole estate, the outside rows have got the big yards. The internal there, they have smaller yards, pretty much the same size houses though. And when this is all sold, this becomes a little greenery spot in the middle. There's no talk of anything to do with gymnasiums or anything else like that for the estate, which is typical for a lot of estates these days. It'd just be a green spot as far as I know. Nice wide roads, which is something which took our our fancy, because a lot of these mubans, they're in small lots, and you barely got enough room to swing a cat. But yeah, when it comes down to retirements, like I have to only really sort of reference in my situation. Look, I'd probably still be working now if it wasn't for a little bit of a push and a shove from the organisation that I was working for. I put 15 good years into them. Worked with them very well. Built their infrastructure. We expanded to 7 different locations around the globe. Pretty much everything that happened was something that I had a major playing hand in, with the infrastructure to make it all work. When you grow a company, I think when I joined, when I first started working with them, it was 98. They didn't even have a server. I think they had 23 or 24 people working in their organisation. And watching a company grow was a lot of fun. Until the point that the managing directors sort of said, well, we've had enough, we just want to get paid for all our hard work, and they put the company up for sale, and it got sold in 2005 to one company, and then that company had a parent company who then sort of decided that they didn't want that sort of subsidiary company, but they wanted our company, and so they sold out them, and so we effectively changed hands again because the ownership changed, to the parent company, and everything seemed to run all right. We weren't too worried about that. We were still allowed to run the company the way we wanted to run the company. I was still in charge of the IT sort of stuff, and then of course that company then sort of said, I think it was Aegis Media, I think they ran out of England. Then they sold Aegis Media. Well, the Aegis Media got sold to Dentsu in Japan, and one thing led to another. The fact that the Japanese company said, what's this company called Aztec inside this package deal we just bought? Nothing to do with us, because Dentsu were looking at media. We were for statistic, data collection, for retail scan data. So they quickly put us out to for a buy order again. Along comes this company called IRI in America. This was 2013 when the negotiations were going on. Went out, seemed to align everything. One thing led to another. 2014 the sale went through. Everybody got paid. And part of the caveat was the fact that we could still run the company the way we wanted to run it. We had a proven track record. Our formulas worked. Everything worked. But corporate mentality in the US. We were like they were the incumbent. They were the main company. They run a company a certain way. They outsourced everything. Right, nothing got done in a timely fashion, but that's the way the mentality worked. We were very agile. We did everything on the spot, and eventually, over the 2 years from 2014 to 2016, the culture changed. I was no longer with that company, and I probably would have stayed, for want of a better thought, there was no real pushing need. I was quite happy commuting to see Chanya and all that sort of stuff. I had my, all my investments and everything else. Some of them matured, some of them didn't. It took a few more years to mature, and so on and so forth. And I'm going, well, what happened was the fact that they pushed me out. Not that they really wanted to push me out. It was just that the culture changed to the point, the fact that I was no longer valued for what I did for the company since 1998 through to 2016. That was in my mind. and you know, it was one of those sort of things. But again, you know, that's when you're working for somebody else's dream. Okay, I ran my own business for 7 years, and that was a lot of fun, but it's a lot of hard work running your own business, especially when you're just basically, a freelance engineer, sort of fixing other people's problems. But again, you know, when I ran that company, it was good because, you know, I called the shots. Everything we made, we earned, you know, it was all part of the deal, you know. That's what you do when you run your own company. They just decided, well, America sort of, you know, budgets, bonuses came around, which was a sort of an annual thing, got passed up for bonuses, then pay rises came through, and we normally got a seat because I was already on, you know, from the Hayes salary bracket earnings system. I was already on the top salary for my particular chosen vocation or status or whatever you use. Oh yeah. So, you know, they just said, well, we're not doing a CPI increase this year. So basically no bonus, no CPI increase. I just said to my boss, I said, effectively, they've just devalued my job. I didn't come to work for a company for 15 years to be devalued. Right? That was not my cup of tea. I came to Thailand for 2 weeks to visit Chanya, you know, and in that 2 weeks, as I said, yeah, I can make another 100,000 in the next 2 to 3 years, you know, in the bank, you know, to invest and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Or, right, I could just, you know, if I worked to a nice budget, it'd be good. I don't have to work anymore, so that's what got me out here. And now she wants. Where are we going, darling?
Go hospital.
Go hospital. Okay, I need to find the. Anyway, so it comes down to what you want to do when you want to retire. Let's talk about retirement in general. That was just my story. She says, mask in the hospital now. I have to put the mask on. Okay, where are we going, darling? Of course, we won't be able to film in the hospital anyway, so. But I'd rather wait in the hospital because I think she's going to be here for a fair while. Yes, so it's going to come down to, you know, making some life decisions, I guess, when you start to think about the whole retirement plan and what you really want to achieve from your life. You know, and do you really sort of want to look at the 67 years, or by the time you get to 67, it's probably going to be 70 years to retirement? Or are you going to start to sort of change the formula? Right, don't forget, you know, most people are conditioned to this thing that the government's going to provide for them. I never really had that thought. That was one thing, from my personal perspective, I thought, what's the government going to do? You know, the government changes every 4 years, they make different rules. You can't control that. We don't sort of see the 1%ers being worried about government decisions, do they? So what do? They invest and they take care of themselves, you know. It's a thinking process. I must be walking around the hospital not knowing what's going on. She seems to know what's going on, but I've got no idea. Got to go on. I think she's got the thing that she needs. Now she's got to go in here and pay the bill. So you not pay bill now, you pay bill later.
Yep.
They're going to charge the bank.
Yeah.
Too confusing. Yeah, so anyway, so getting back to the whole retirement thing, you've got to start to think about the whole health issue. You know, we are at a hospital, you know. I think the car's this way, don't you know, like when I was born, you know, like, okay, I keep on joking about my age, but you know, I was born in 61. Back in 61, the life expectancy of the planet there, or Australia, was 65. So, you know, retirement age is 65, 67. Well, nowadays, the retirement age is like they're sort of saying 85 is your life expectancy. But, you know, what is the quality of life, you know, from 67 to 85? What are you really expecting to get out of life? I think ideally sort of retirement should be sort of something that you plan for and make sure you got the money to do it. We did a live stream about that a couple of weeks ago, and we had a chart showing the cost of living around the planet. And again, so if you hit me up, I can always send you that link again, but it's quite a good article. giving you the cost of living. But again, it was very much averaged across every country. So I was just saying what it would cost in Australia versus what it would cost in Thailand, try to compare those figures. But I'm not going to discuss that now because it's a long discussion itself. But ideally, so you've got to start to think about what it costs. Yeah, staying in Thailand does. And if you budget well, you can have a very good quality of life for a lot less money than what you did in Australia. But then again, so I've never lived in Broken Hill or Alice Springs or out west of Orange or somewhere in the middle of central New South Wales, which I believe is rather inexpensive. For a single person, you could probably sort of get away with a very modest living in a retirement out that way. Amenities, well, you're not going to have any fun or amenities out there, but you definitely sort of sit down and sort of live on a farm. You've got to start to think about what you want to get out of life. Anyway, we're going to go and what's this one? So how much you pay?
No, not how much. He just show everything okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
but I not understand English.
Oh, I look at it when I get to the restaurant. Anyway, we're going to go have some food now, which is our normal Wednesday thing, and then we're going to go and take all this paperwork back to the house, the estate, because it's obviously the bank's working with the estate, and it's a three-way sort of thing, and it's quite confusing. Yeah, so we're at this little place called Miam now, so it's a little bit of an outdoor setting here. But it's quite warm today, it's 34 degrees, so we're going to go and sit inside here. Yes, I just chose this one here simply because in fact it was only 5 minutes away from the hospital there. So, and they've got a fairly comprehensive menu, and what I saw, the menu, they did have a menu board that was in English, but we'll see how we go. It says on the front there, entrees, Italian food, salad, mandus, curry, soup boiled. Yeah, so it's in English, so it's looking pretty good. Prices seem quite reasonable. Yeah, not a bad choice, darling. Well, not a bad choice. What do you think? Oh, you want to wait for the menu. This one, yeah. Okay, while she finishes ordering, I might continue what I've been talking about. Yeah, so you got to think about the whole retirement process. When life expectancy, how much it's going to cost. It really comes down to what you really want to do. Do you really want to work for the man for the rest of your life? Retire at 67 when your quality of life has diminished a little bit. In some cases, it's probably diminished quite a lot. And then do you want to enjoy yourself? And you work hard for 30 odd years, and if you did what I did, you shove money away and sort of have a good sale of a house and all the other bits and pieces to give you the option, then what do you do? So yes, just latte yen cup. Yeah, latte yen. Okay. So you've got to think about what you want to do. In my case there, I could have worked till I was 67. That was only another 7 years from now. And I would have had quite a nice little nest egg to retire on, but would I have enjoyed it? I may have. In my case, it was only that little push. It was a third-party push where you...
We have signature coffee. You can
No, just latte yen.
You can
No, it's okay. Just latte yen. It's okay.
green.
No one green tea latte. They're just latte yen. Signature everything. Oh my God, everybody have signature everything. Yeah, so if it wasn't for the little push that I got, although I was planning to leave and come to Thailand, it had always been on the cards. I probably would have stayed. If everything went and they kept on paying me more and CPI adjusted and everything else, and I still had the run of the mill, and I could do what I wanted to do with the growing of the organisation and everything else, and dealing with all the IT stuff, which is something I really enjoyed, I probably would have stayed there. And it would have just been one of those things, working some sort of deals to, come longer stays, maybe sort of go down to work, 10 months a year instead of 11 months of the year, because we do have 4 weeks holiday a year in Australia. take a month off without pay or something. That was always something that I could have probably done under the previous regime before IRI took over, and it probably would have kept me happy. May not have kept Chanya happy, but it would have kept me happy. It was just that little push out the door that sort of basically escalated, just run the numbers and said, I can come here, I can do it. Now I'm looking at the fact that my general health, I can't say it's got diminished. I feel it actually has improved since I've been on the exercise and walking and doing the right things and eating, and I feel much healthier than I did before 3 months ago. So life expectancy now is at 85, and I really didn't budget to get 85. I said 80. 80 is probably the max that I could get to. Now we're probably looking at 85. I've got a few ideas for running some online businesses and things like that, which I just need to gain another little push to make that happen. I should cover any shortfallings, but I said my investments are still holding up and doing quite well. We've got the mortgage now. Well, it's not finalised yet, but we're getting to those final stages now where it's all done. It's all well within the budget, so I've got to think about those things. It really comes down to what you want to do. Just before I left today, and I thought about what I'm going to talk about, I did ask Oggy what he wanted to do, and he just said he wants to come to Thailand basically to write. That's one of his passions, is reading and writing, flipping pages. I know we all do it electronically these days, but he wants to sit down and write books. I didn't really sort of go into much depth about that. It's something we might talk about later, when he's on the live stream. But that's something that floats his boat. But he's relying on his pension. And again, is that secure? Is that going to keep you going for the rest of your life? Expecting somebody else to make a living for you, I think is the wrong plan. You have to make the plan that you're in control. Even though I may be eligible for some sort of pension in Australia, I've never even looked at it. I've paid all my taxes, but you hear about all the stuff that's going on in Australia now. They're talking about the fact that pensions are going to be a privilege within the next 5 to 10 years. It's not like a guarantee, even though it's constitutionally written. The fact that the tax that we have paid, 7.5% of that tax was always allocated to our long-term, peace of mind, and it was a pension. But now it's sort of becoming sort of a state-mandated addition to whatever you've put together. And you go on, well, the rules haven't been that way. Who changed those rules? That's the Constitution. This is what we've got to deal with. I've got somebody listen to me. Anyway, so we're going to have some food, and then we're going to go and do all that stuff. So we've been here like 10 minutes, and she just noticed all the birds outside, little bird boxes and everything else. Little Avery just sitting there. Quite cute, really.
Sit here.
What's this one?
You want to sit here?
What's this one you order? Strawberry smoothie? Yes?
Yep.
Looks like big.
Burley smoothie.
So darling, what you order here? What's this one? Gong seafood. Gong and squid seafood, yeah. And this one here, my spaghetti bolognese. Looks quite yummy. And a little bit of an entree there with some, yep. And where the garlic bread? I don't know. Again, here we have Parang fusion, so spaghetti, garlic bread, always comes last, and Thai food,
Chicken, gung, ramen.
Ramen.
Thai food and Frang food.
Yeah, very good, darling. Very good. อร่อยไหม?
อร่อยมาก
So we're just having a quick conversation here with this lad, this young lad here. He's lived in Sydney, Sydney and London. Where else you stay?
Sydney,
And London.
London,
And where else?
Japan.
Japan. Oh, you high-soul jet setter.
not ให้ชอบท่องเที่ยว
She likes holiday
Yeah?
around the world.
Go to see the world.
ลูกสาวนี่ไปทั่วโลกเลยลูกสาว
Oh, okay. Anyway, we're going to go off to the real estate agent again and sort of sort out the last of this stuff, and then we'll sign off. Yeah, so I suppose in closing, it really the question comes down to the fact that what do you really want to do? Do you want to work for the man for the rest of your life, or come and celebrate a pleasant retirement in another country? Doesn't necessarily have to be Thailand. Thailand is probably not the cheapest place to live. When we did that look into that website, they were also saying Vietnam would be a bit cheaper. They also said the Philippines would be a bit cheaper. But it's going to come down to sort of a combination of a lot of little things. If you are choosing Thailand, like I said, I've got a lot of friends here now. I've made a lot of friends here over the last 4.5 years. And it seems to be fairly unanimous with my friend circles, the fact that they wouldn't choose anywhere else. Thailand just has a right mix of modern lifestyle. I am talking about city living. I'm not talking about country living, but even country living has its options as well. Like I think Joe, he's moved down to below Hua Hin there, which is, I suppose, in sort of one sense, it's fairly country living. There's still it's a bit of a travel into the main city centre. But he's got a nice block of land there that they've got, and a nice house they're building. But I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have it any other way. He's got a nice retirement package, but I'm pretty sure that he's not relying on the government solely on that retirement package. He worked in the corporate sector after his military engagement, so he sort of had a lot of fingers in a lot of little enterprises over the years. So it's only right that he can deserve to have the best things in life. Whether he could have obtained that living in America, it's anybody's guess. But as I said, when talking to Oggy, living in America has its ups and downs. In his point of view, it has more downs than ups. Living in Australia in retirement, it's got its ups and downs as well. But it just comes down to what you're looking for. In my case, I'm really happy, with the relationship I'm in. I watch Chanya going through this, when I really reflect, what Chanya's going through now is about the same things I went through at that age too, So I was about 35, 36 when I actually started my own business. After dealing with all the banks and mortgages and all that sort of stuff, it's a stressful part of her life. At least I can enjoy my life and help her get through her stressful days on a daily basis. Our Wednesdays are our together days, and you enjoy our Wednesday. Yeah, and you want to go home and sleep now. No, that's right. She wants to go to temple now to meditate. So anyway, in closing, have a think about it. Right? I think not enough people really think about the situation they're in and what they want to do with their life. Start to take control is all I sort of say. Talk to people who have walked the walk. So I've got almost 5 years into that experience. My friends here, they vary. Sort of some of the people I've talked to have been here for 30 odd years or 25 years, and they wouldn't have it any other way. They're the people you need to leverage and find out what works and what would work for you. So have a think about it. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. I know it's a long video, but I think it's one of those things, it's a conversation piece that we need to get people talking about. Come and join us on our Discord. Tell us what you're thinking about, what do you want to do, and maybe we can sort of help you along that journey. Anyway, darling, say goodbye.
Have to enjoy.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, kiss me.
No.
No, she's not love me anymore. Oh my God.
Bye bye. See you. Like and share and subscribe and follow me. Okay.
Follow she?
Follow together.
Follow us. Yeah. When you start your YouTube channel.
Wait first. Now I
Okay.
work hard. I work hard and everything for house, everything for my job, everything. I really work hard.
You do work
Not
hard.
like you pay
Play game.
Pay game.
Yeah. Anyway, peace out, guys. We'll see you next video. But I think I'm going to the motor show tomorrow. And
Bye-bye.
I got lipstick on now. Oh my God.
Hello?
I want you to